There comes a moment in life when everything feels heavy, confusing, and uncertain. Yet deep within, there is a whisper that something greater is near. That whisper is not just hope, it is a sign. When God is about to bless a woman with something beyond her imagination, He does not let her walk blindly. He places signals on her path, signs that guide her through the storm and prepare her spirit for the blessing to come. Think about it. Every great shift in life begins with a quiet stirring inside the soul. Before the breakthrough, there is always a build-up. Before the blessing, there is always preparation. God's plan is not rushed, and His timing is never accidental. The reason you are here, listening right now is not chance. It is alignment. Life may have been testing you lately. You may feel stretched, pressed, and even misunderstood. But what if I told you that the very struggles you are facing are not random hardships? What if they are the clearest evidence that something powerful is on its way? Too often, we mistake pressure for punishment, when in truth, pressure is the sign that growth is happening. Just like gold must face fire to shine, a woman chosen for something big must first pass through challenges that shape her into the person capable of holding the blessing. This is why you cannot give up now. The very fact that you are still standing despite all that has tried to break you means God is preparing you for more than you asked for. And here is the truth. Many blessings are not just gifts, they are responsibility. They require strength, wisdom, and clarity. That is why God does not send them to an unprepared heart. He first refines, tests, and strengthens the woman who will carry them. Right now, you may be at the edge of breakthrough without even knowing it. That frustration you feel, that deep restlessness, that is not weakness, it is awakening. It is your spirit recognizing that what once satisfied you no longer can, because God is leading you to something greater. This is why you cannot remain where you are. You were not created for small things. You were designed to rise, to expand, to hold blessings so big they not only change your life but inspire others around you. And here lies the beauty of God's way. He never shows you the full picture all at once. If He did, you might not believe it, or you might not be ready to carry it. Instead, He reveals signs, subtle, powerful signals that guide your steps and confirm that your blessing is near. These signs are not random feelings or coincidences. They are the language of the divine. They are proof that your journey has meaning. So if you feel like life is testing you beyond your limit, if you feel shifts within your soul, if you notice patterns repeating, know this, you are not lost. You are being guided. Each sign is a piece of the puzzle. Each struggle is carving you into someone unshakable, and each delay is protecting you from blessings arriving too soon. Here is something to hold on to. Those who give up too early never see the reward. But those who remain, those who push forward even when the night feels endless, discover that the dawn always comes. The same God who allowed your battles is the God who is preparing your crown. Do not mistake the silence of waiting as absence. Behind the scenes, heaven is moving pieces in your favor, and this is why you must stay until the very end of this journey we are about to take together. Because as we unfold the 7 signs that reveal when God is about to bless a woman with something big, you will not just learn, you will recognize yourself in them. You will begin to see your own life in a new light. You will realize that the struggles you thought were breaking you are actually shaping you. And when you understand these signs, your perspective will shift. Fear will turn into faith. Pain will transform into power. Another purpose is to separate the temporary from the eternal. Signs often show her what to release and what to hold on to. They direct her attention to what truly matters, preparing her heart to receive the blessing with gratitude and wisdom. Without these signals, she might carry unnecessary burdens into the new chapter, but God's signs help her let go of what cannot follow her into the future. So whenever you sense unusual shifts, pay attention. Whenever you feel an unexplainable pull in your spirit, do not ignore it. God's gentle reminders that He is near, that He is listening, and that He is moving. They are the proof that your blessing is not just coming, it is already in motion. Recognizing them is the first step to walking fully prepared into what has been waiting for you all along. Inner restlessness. One of the first signs that a blessing is near is the feeling of inner restlessness. It is that quiet unease inside, the sense that where you are is no longer enough. You may still have the same job, the same relationships, the same daily routine, but something in your heart begins to whisper, there is more. This restlessness is not a curse. It is a calling. It is God's way of shaking you awake so you do not settle for less than what He has prepared. At first, restlessness can feel uncomfortable. You may wonder why you are no longer satisfied with things that once made you happy. You may even feel guilty for wanting more, as if you should just be content. But understand this, contentment does not mean settling. True contentment is knowing you are enough, while still allowing yourself to grow. Restlessness is not about being ungrateful. It is about being aware that your spirit is ready for the next level. This feeling is powerful because it pushes you to move. Without restlessness, it is easy to stay in comfort zones, to remain in situations that feel safe but stagnant. God knows that growth requires movement, and movement often comes from discomfort. That is why He plants this stirring within you. He wants you to recognize that you cannot stay where you are forever. Psychology teaches us that the human mind grows restless when it outgrows its environment. When a woman begins to crave more meaning, more purpose, more alignment, it is because she is evolving. That inner pull is a sign that her spirit is ahead of her circumstances, urging her to rise to where she truly belongs. So when you feel this deep inner unease, do not ignore it. Do not numb it or silence it. See it for what it is, a divine sign that you are being prepared for more. Restlessness is the seed of transformation. It's the inner voice that tells you the blessing is near and the life you are stepping into will demand a stronger, bolder, and more awakened version of yourself. Release of old attachments. Another clear sign that a great blessing is on the way is the sudden release of old attachments. A woman begins to feel the need to step away from toxic relationships, draining environments, and habits that no longer serve her spirit. This release does not happen by accident. It is guided. Before God can place something new in her hands, He first clears away the weight that could prevent her from receiving it. Letting go is never easy. We often hold on to people, routines, and patterns out of fear, comfort, or familiarity. But when a blessing is close, the heart begins to lose its grip on what no longer aligns with its purpose. Friendships may fade. Certain conversations may no longer interest you. And places that once felt like home may begin to feel heavy. This shift can feel painful, but it is a divine rearrangement. Psychologically, the human mind craves stability, even if that stability comes from unhealthy patterns. That is why breaking attachments feels so uncomfortable. But discomfort is the doorway to transformation. When you begin to release what drains you, you create space for what empowers you. This season teaches her to rely less on validation from others and more on faith within herself. She learns that her worth does not depend on who stands beside her, but on the purpose placed inside her. And as she grows comfortable in this isolation, she begins to see that it is not loneliness at all. It is preparation. So if you find yourself feeling set apart, do not fear it. Embrace it. This is a sign that God is drawing you closer, setting you apart for something greater. The blessing waiting for you requires clarity and strength, and isolation is the sacred ground where both are built. Peace in the storm. One of the most powerful signs that a blessing is near is the ability to feel peace in the middle of chaos. Life may still be full of challenges. Problems may not disappear overnight, yet somehow deep within there is a calm that cannot be explained. This peace is not denial of reality. It is the presence of faith. It is the assurance that no matter what is happening around you, everything is working for your good. This kind of peace is different from the temporary calm that comes when problems are solved. It is a lasting inner strength that remains even when circumstances are uncertain. It shows that the heart has shifted from fear to trust. It proves that a woman has reached a level of faith where storms no longer shake her foundation, because she knows the storm is not the end. It is a passage to something greater. From a psychological view, peace during adversity is a sign of resilience. It means the mind has learned how to regulate fear, how to stay focused, and how to find stability even in unstable times. This is not weakness, it is mastery. And mastery of the mind and heart is what allows a person to hold blessings without being shaken by pressure. This peace is also a shield. It protects a woman from making rash decisions in the middle of difficulty. It allows her to wait for the right moment instead of acting out of fear. And as she carries this calm, she begins to notice that others around her are also drawn to her strength. Her peace becomes a light in the storm, a reflection of the blessing that is about to enter her life. So when you notice yourself walking through storms with a quiet confidence, understand what it means. It means the blessing is close. It means you have been strengthened, prepared, and refined. And now you carry a peace that no chaos can break, a peace that signals the arrival of something extraordinary. The role of pain in blessings after peace in the storm comes a deeper understanding. Pain itself has a purpose. Many times, a woman believes her struggles are signs of weakness or punishment, but in reality, pain is preparation. It shapes the heart, sharpens the mind, and teaches lessons that comfort never could. Every wound carries wisdom, and every setback holds the seed of strength. Pain strips away illusions. It forces you to see who is truly with you and what truly matters. It humbles pride, softens the heart, and makes space for empathy. Without pain, blessings would feel ordinary, but with it, they are cherished and valued. The trials that once made you cry are the very reasons you will one day rejoice, because they build the foundation you now stand on. Psychology tells us that resilience and growth are often born out of adversity. People who endure hardships and rise again develop a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in life. Pain becomes a teacher that no book or advice could ever replace. It teaches patience, endurance, and compassion. These qualities are not only needed to survive, but to carry the weight of greater blessings. When a woman recognizes that her pain was not wasted, she begins to see her journey with new eyes. What once felt like an ending now looks like preparation. What once seemed like loss now feels like transformation. Every scar becomes a symbol of strength, and every tear becomes a reminder of survival. So if you are walking through pain, do not let it break you. Let it build you. Let it refine your spirit and strengthen your heart. For the pain you carry today is proof that God is preparing you for something greater tomorrow. And when the blessing finally arrives, you will know it was the pain that gave you the power to hold it. Finding strength in vulnerability after understanding the hidden purpose of pain. The next realization is that true strength often comes through vulnerability. Many women are taught to hide their struggles, to wear a mask of perfection, and to carry their burdens in silence. Yet real growth begins the moment you allow yourself to be honest with your pain. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is courage in its purest form. When you acknowledge your wounds instead of concealing them, you open the door to healing. Suppressed emotions turn into chains, but expressed emotions become pathways to freedom. Admitting that you are hurting does not make you powerless, for you're human, and it creates space for genuine connection. People relate to authenticity, not perfection. By embracing your vulnerability, you allow others to see the depth of your strength. Research in psychology shows that vulnerability fosters resilience. It allows the mind to process pain instead of burying it, which leads to emotional growth and inner balance. It teaches you to be present with yourself, to accept your imperfections, and to trust that even in your brokenness, you are still whole. There is also a spiritual dimension to this truth. When you admit your weakness, you invite divine strength to step in. The moment you release the need to control everything, you allow a higher power to carry what you cannot. Vulnerability becomes a bridge between human limitation and divine support. Strength is not about never falling. It is about rising again with wisdom in your hands and humility in your heart. Vulnerability does not reduce your worth, it magnifies it, because it shows that even in your openness, you remain unbroken. So do not be afraid of your tears, your fears, or your scars. They are not signs of defeat, but signs of endurance. In your vulnerability lies your deepest strength, and through that strength, you discover the courage to keep moving forward no matter what storms you face. The power of reframing your story once vulnerability is embraced. The next step is learning how to reframe your story. Painful experiences often leave us with narratives that echo defeat, stories that tell us we are not enough, that life has been unfair, or that our past defines our future. But the truth is, the meaning you give to your experiences determines whether they break you or build you. Reframing does not mean denying what happened. It means choosing to see beyond the suffering. Every hardship carries within it the seed of transformation, but you must decide whether to water it. Instead of viewing setbacks as proof of failure, they can be reframed as lessons that sharpen resilience, compassion, and clarity. For example, betrayal can teach the value of trust. Loss can deepen gratitude. And failure can cultivate humility. When you shift your perspective, even the darkest chapters of your life can become the foundation for strength. This is not about blind optimism, it is about truth. Pain is real, but so is the possibility of growth that arises from it. By reframing your story, you transform wounds into wisdom and obstacles into opportunities for renewal. This mindset shift also protects you from becoming trapped in bitterness. Resentment keeps you tied to the past, but reframing loosens those chains and restores freedom. It gives you the power to say, yes, this happened, but it did not destroy me. In fact, it shaped me into someone stronger. Life is not simply about what happens to you, but about the meaning you create from it. When you take ownership of your story, you no longer live as a victim of circumstance. You become the author of your destiny. And in that authorship lies the ability to rise above pain, to create beauty from ashes, and to walk forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Aligning with a higher purpose, when you reframe your story, you begin to see that life has always been guiding you towards something greater. Every moment of struggle, every tear, every test of patience is not random. It is shaping you to align with a higher purpose. A woman on the verge of a blessing does not live only for survival. She begins to live with meaning. Her heart beats in rhythm with something bigger than herself. This alignment happens when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" The shift in question transforms despair into direction. Suddenly, even pain has purpose. You see that nothing you went through was wasted. Every setback was preparation. Every delay was protection, and every closed door was redirection. Psychology teaches that when people connect their struggles to a higher purpose, they gain unshakable resilience. They endure not because the path is easy, but because they believe the path is sacred. With this awareness, what once looked like loss begins to look like positioning. It is the realization that life was not punishing you, but preparing you for the weight of what is coming. Aligning with a higher purpose also means living with intentionality. You no longer go through life aimless, you choose your steps with clarity. You begin to release distractions, toxic environments, and empty pursuits because you know your spirit has been called to something more. Your energy is no longer scattered. It is focused on building the life you are designed to live. This alignment is the quiet confirmation that your blessing is near. It whispers to your soul that the struggles you faced were not in vain. When your actions, thoughts, and spirit harmonize with this higher calling, you become unshakable. And it is in this unshakable state that the biggest blessings finally arrive, not as accidents, but as destiny fulfilled. Stepping boldly into the blessing when a woman aligns with a higher purpose, she reaches the point where hesitation must end. This is the moment to step boldly into the blessing that has been waiting for her. Fear may still whisper doubts, and the past may try to pull her back, but she now carries the inner strength to move forward without looking over her shoulder. Stepping into a blessing requires courage, because it often demands leaving behind the familiar. Comfort zones can feel safe, but they also keep you small. The life you were created for is never found in the space of safety. It is discovered in the leap of faith. And faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to walk forward even when fear is present. Psychology reveals that confidence grows not from certainty, but from action. Every bold step taken reinforces the belief that you are capable and worthy. In this way, walking into your blessing is not just about receiving, it is about becoming. You evolve into someone who no longer waits for permission, but chooses to claim what belongs to her. Stepping boldly also means accepting the responsibility that comes with the blessing. Big opportunities, deep relationships, and greater abundance all carry weight, but the very struggles that once seemed unbearable have already trained you to carry more. You are no longer fragile, you are fortified. This final stage is not about questioning whether the blessing will come. It is about positioning yourself to embrace it fully when it arrives. You rise with trust, act with confidence, and carry yourself with grace. Because deep down, you know this blessing was never an accident. It was always meant for you. And now, by stepping boldly, you finally claim the life that your soul has been prepared to live.